How's it going, everyone? It's been a little while since I made a video, but I'm back here. Gonna try to be doing more as the draft's coming along. So I hope you'll kind of tune in, keep asking questions in the comments, and as we move on, I've upgraded my technology a little bit, so hopefully these videos be a little better quality, and hopefully as you get involved, we'll keep going. So what I'm gonna try to run down here these next couple days is my top 5 seniors per position, starting with the offense today. And once again, underclassmen haven't declared, so these are just seniors. Maybe I'll try to toss in a couple underclassmen I think might come out at the end, but until we know for sure, I'm not going to talk about them too much. You see guys like Jake Locker, who I would have had as my #1 quarterback. He's going back to college, so we don't know at this point who's coming out and who's not for sure. So I'm going to talk about seniors still, and then once that underclassmen deadline comes, I'll definitely do a whole thing with that. Probably even do a mock draft on YouTube, going over all that. So start right into it. My top 5 offensive players per position, seniors. Starting with the quarterback, of course. My #5 guy is John Skelton out of Fordham. Skelton is a guy that has great NFL size, and we've seen small school quarterbacks get drafted, do better in the NFL, and teams are not afraid to take them. Don't be surprised if John Skelton from Fordham University is a guy that you see moving up boards as we get closer and closer to the draft. It's a guy people start talking about. Here's my sleeper. Well, he might get picked in the 2nd or 3rd round. It could really happen if quarterbacks that go in the 1st round really step up there. So we'll see what happens there. #4 is Tony Pike out of Cincinnati. Guy that's been talked about a lot recently. He had a really good senior year. He got hurt, and I think those injury issues are what pushes him to 4 for me, because he's gotten hurt just about every year he's played. Some people question that Cincinnati system, but he has prototypical size, prototypical arm. He can throw the ball down the field, and I think teams really see him as a guy that could develop into a starting quarterback down the line in the NFL. So he may have fallen a little bit. I haven't been too impressed with him recently. I really want to see what he does against Florida in their bowl game. We'll see with that. #3 is Canfield from Oregon State. Guy I really like. Didn't play well in their bowl game against BYU. 40-mile-an-hour winds. Kind of give him a little bit of a pass with that, but he is playing in the Senior Bowl. Big. He wasn't even supposed to start this year as a quarterback, but he stepped in there, and he showed me NFL talent. He showed me that at least he can be an NFL career backup, and really, he has the talent to be a starter down the line. I think he's a guy you could see that goes in the 4th or 5th or 6th round that a team takes a chance on, and he's one of those guys that will come in and will really be a star down the line. #2 is Colt McCoy out of Texas. You can't deny that success. Yeah, it's a system. Yes, he doesn't have the greatest arm strength, but he wins games. I don't think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he could go in the 1st round because a team might see him as a consolation prize. A team like a Minnesota that views Colt McCoy as a guy, if they can't get the top underclassmen, he's a guy they can settle on, who maybe can take a year or 2 and develop into a quarterback. So we'll see about that. And then #1 is Tim Tebow out of Florida. Talked about him when my first vlog in here. Got a lot of flack for that. Tebow's divisive, but he's a guy that even if he doesn't work out a quarterback, you can move him somewhere else. He will go in the 1st round. I'm still saying it. Not sure if he's going to play in the Senior Bowl. Depends what his agent tells him. He probably shouldn't do it just because it's going to hurt his stock if he doesn't look good. But Tim Tebow is going to go in the 1st round. He's my top senior quarterback because at least if he busts out, you can move him somewhere else. Running backs. #5, Dixon, Mississippi State. Just big, tough runner. Been really impressed with him this year. He's really carried Mississippi State in a couple games to wins that they probably shouldn't have gotten without him. So I've been pretty impressed with him. #4, Charles Scott from LSU. Another guy that seems like a complete running back. A guy that can be in a rotation. And he had some issues this year. Got hurt, broke his collarbone. But I still have to have my top 5. I think the running backs' top 5 seniors are pretty set. Depends how you like them, where you have them. But top 5 guys are pretty well set. #3, Ben Tate out of Auburn. Another guy isn't on my board this year as a senior. He's really been great. #2, Montario Hardesty out of Tennessee, who's just thoroughly impressed me. I didn't even think he would get the bulk of the carries this year with Bryce Brown there at Tennessee. But he came in. I think he took that challenge of having a star freshman come in and worked on it. And he's a guy that I think can be a starter in the NFL. I think he's a guy you can take in the second or third round, and really, we'll see him be a starter even as a rookie. Maybe we'll get his chance due to injury or something, and he'll be really productive and do really well. I really like Montario Hardesty. Number one, obviously, is C.J. Spiller out of Clemson. Great player, dynamic, can return kicks, can work the outside, catch the ball, all this stuff. Has been overly impressive at the end of the season. He could go in the top 5. I'm not a lie. I think a lot of scouts see him as that. Running back's not that much of a need, so I think position could knock him down. But don't be surprised if a team like Seattle pulls that trigger with their first pick on a guy like C.J. Spiller. Tight end, number 5, Dennis Pitta out of BYU. A little older, solid player, going to block, going to catch, going to do everything you need him to do. Number 4, Jimmy Graham from Miami is a guy that this is kind of here on potential. He didn't play, organized ball really until this year, at least in college. Played in high school, but he played on Miami's basketball team. He's come in. He has the size. He has the leaping ability. He has the athleticism. He's playing in the Senior Bowl. So let's see what he does there. Because if he comes out in the Senior Bowl and has, does well in workouts or in warm-ups and then comes out and executes in the game, teams are going to fall in love with him. And he's going to move up real quick. So don't be surprised there with Jimmy Graham. Number 3 is Ed Dixon from Oregon. We'll see how he does in the Rose Bowl. If he has a good game there, I think he can continue moving up. Another guy that's a solid player, not going to be spectacular, more of a pass catcher for you. Number 2, Anthony McCoy from USC. Another guy's risen up boards this year, and he's going to be a pass catcher in the NFL. And the NFL's moving towards that pass-catching tight end. That's what teams want. They're not looking for another blocker. See teams like the Ravens, instead of having a blocking tight end, when they need blockers, they'll bring in a 6th offensive lineman. So teams are moving. They want their tight end to catch the ball. They want it to be mismatches. That's what guys like Anthony McCoy and Jimmy Graham do. And number 1 is Jermaine Gresham out of Oklahoma. Complete threat. Probably the most complete tight end in the draft. So he's going to go in the first round despite his injury this year. And Jermaine Gresham, he should be an excellent player in the NFL. Unless he gets injured, and he's going to be a great player. So, offensive tackle. My number 5 is Tony Washington from Abilene Christian. Haven't gotten a chance to see him too much. What I've heard, what I've seen in highlight films, which obviously shows you their best stuff, that he has the athleticism to play left tackle even, probably play right tackle to be safe. But I really like him. Even despite being from a small school. Number 4 is Jason Fox from Miami. He had a big injury. He should be able to be at the combine, but we're still unsure about that. He's still number 4 in my rankings. An elite right tackle. So I'm not sure where his injury is going to put him. If that's going to knock him down past his top 5 for me ultimately. Could happen as I look at other guys, so we'll see. Number 3 is Charlie Brown from USC. Smaller offensive tackle, which can scare some teams away. Might shoot him out of the first round. Probably could still be a late first round pick, but he could be a left tackle because he is small and he can move out and get those rush defensive ends or rush linebackers that come in on him. So, number 2, Trent Williams from Oklahoma. I think with Trent Williams, similar to what I thought about Andre Smith last year, is a worst case you have a player who can start on your team. He can play right tackle, he can play left tackle, he can move inside a guard. I think with Trent Williams, worst case, you're going to get a player that can play right tackle. Then number 1 is Russell Okung, top 5 pick. Team's looking for that pass protector. He's the elite pass protector in this draft. So no matter what, no matter who comes out, it's going to be Russell Okung. Offensive guard real quick, number 5, John Jerry, Ole Miss. Huge guy. Going to eat up space for you, get those interior linemen. I like him a lot. Sergio Renger, offensive guard from Virginia Tech. Another guy that, these playoffs tackle moved in. Number 3, Mike Johnson from Alabama. I'm really high on him. I've been thoroughly impressed with him. Big reason for Mark Ingram's success. Number 2, Mikey Apati from Idaho, who is possible first-round pick at offensive guard. He has all the tools that you'll look for. Number 1, Vlad Dukas from UMass, University of Massachusetts. Huge. Can play tackle. He's playing tackle right now for UMass. Big guy, though. Probably going to move into guard. I'll talk about defense in a little bit. I'll talk about some of the underclassmen as well. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Please follow me on Twitter, Shane P. Hallam.